Good morning and welcome to the Patriots Day rally. What better way to start this rally than with acts of patriotism?
On April 19, 1775, soldiers of the English Crown attempted to disarm the towns of Lexington and Concord by seizing their powder and ball magazines. The colonial militias were called out, and the Minutemen met the British regulars on the town common in Lexington. The colonials lost 10 men, but no powder. The British then moved to Concord, where they did manage to capture a few cannon, and they were met by the Moore militia on the North Bridge, where the shot heard round the world was fired. After suffering losses, they retreated to Boston with colonial sniper forces firing on them all the way. All told, the British suffered 174 wounded that day, with an additional 73 killed and 26 reported missing. Now, when John Parker and his Minutemen gathered on Lexington Green to stop the British from confiscating guns and ammunition, they faced one of the greatest armies in the world, and they were armed almost exactly as they were. Both sides had muskets with the same accuracy and the same rate of fire. The guns of the British soldiers were owned by the Crown, however, and the colonials each supplied their own. Modern problems in modern times require modern solutions. The AR-15 of today is America's modern musket.
So my name is Remington. All right, so when I was 8 years old, my dad took me shooting with a couple of his buddies, where we shot like a bunch of guns, including AR-15s. My AR-15 I have up here with me, I call my unicorn. I call it this because it's unlike any other gun that I've seen, and it's about as rare as a unicorn. A while ago, I discovered the wonders of Cerakote that led me to paint many more of my guns cool in different colors. I mean, there's no reason to not look stylish while shooting, right? I've taken many classes and continue to learn. In fact, I'm taking a class tomorrow on concealed carry, even though I'm only 18. But none of this would matter, and none of this would have happened if it wasn't for the freedoms we are lucky enough to have in this amazing country. Our right to keep and bear arms has helped me grow into the person I am today. It has let me show my passions through shooting sports and has given me a hobby I can express so much through. I've had people ask me, what is it about you and guns, or don't you know that guns are dangerous? Yes, they are, but only when used like that. They are only as dangerous as the person using them.
Okay, folks, our next speaker, shift gears a little bit, is Zena Matthews. She's born and raised in Baghdad, Iraq. She lived under Saddam Hussein, 4 years of it during the war. She's lived in the U.S. for the last 10 years. She's gone to Ohio State. She studied political science. She is a citizen of this country.
Thank you, Chuck. Good afternoon. I am honored to be given the opportunity to express how exceptional America is. I will not tell you everything you already know about Iraq, which is women are poorly treated, ethnic and religious minorities are persecuted, and political dissent is dangerous. Instead, I will focus on my own experience and the transformation I personally underwent as I discovered American freedom. In Iraq, you are who you're born as. You are, in terms of religion, in terms of class, and social status and tribe. I'm a proud American in citizenship and in culture because I believe in freedom, justice, and individualism, all quintessential American values. I'm an atheist and my family's Christian. And one time I met an old friend for the first time in DC. He is an atheist from a Muslim background from Iraq, and we talked until 5 a.m. My mother was concerned when I told her how much I admired him. She said, but he's Muslim. I said, he's an atheist. She said, but is he a Sunni atheist or a Shi'i atheist? I own a firearm for self-defense. And I also mentor people who've never shot before. I teach them safety rules and marksmanship and everything that I've learned from generous people who've given me their time and effort, most among them Chuck. In Iraq, all firearms are illegal because they're all smuggled or stolen. There are no gun stores. And gun ownership, it is legal with a license for which you have to declare a reason, and it often involves bribery. As a woman, I am so very grateful for the social freedoms we have in this country. In Iraq, one cannot truly experience and fully experience a romantic relationship, and those who do are outliers and expose themselves to significant safety risks and reputational damage. My mother was talking about her and my father's wedding once, and she said, I didn't care what they say. I smiled, I was happy, I even danced a little. It was such an odd thing to say about her own wedding. I said, why wouldn't you? She said, because people will gossip and say nasty things about the bride if she seems excited about the wedding night. I should also mention that one of the cultural shocks I had coming to America is to discover that not every guy in every street and corner was out there to catcall me. I remember I was going to school once, and two guys in their 20s, one at either end of the street, were catcalling me. They were screaming so they can hear each other and make me hear it. And I was a 4th grader on my way to school. So after grade school, I never walked the streets again until my family moved to Jordan at age 16. In Iraq, you're who you're born, in religion, nationality, and even social status. And straying from the herd carries high risks to one's reputation and, if not, safety. But we are all sold a stereotype. Everyone is. Americans are racist. But from where I'm standing, from my experiences and my observations of my friends and my family's experiences, Americans take you how you see and present yourself. I found that if I present myself as an individual, myself, not a member of any virtual tribe, be it race, gender, origin, or religion, I am taken exactly as such. And people don't make assumptions. Instead, most of them ask questions. I would like to leave you with this. We live in very polarized times. Every debate is black and white, including the immigration one. It's either open borders or walls and isolation. Nuance has not made it mainstream. I'm an immigrant. Coming here was the best thing that has ever happened to me, ever, and I will forever be grateful for it. Thank you. I think it's wise and enriching and one of the highest American values that we accept, I see my brother, that we accept immigrants and integrate them to select people who share our values and want the American dream. I will end with this. Before coming here, I was thirsty to come to America. And having arrived and lived here, I will be a fish out of water anywhere else. Thank you.
This girl right here is my friend Caitlin Frazier. Goodness, I can't say enough good about her. She is a mother, a true patriot, and a hard-working woman.
Thank you.
So I'm going to give you the mic.
So I am not a public speaker by any stretch of the imagination, but like Carolyn said, I was coerced to come up and talk to you today. So I do want to share just a little bit about myself. So as Carolyn mentioned, I'm a mom to a wonderful toddler who's not here with me today, but one day you'll definitely see him out, as I hope that he carries on the ideals that I hope to give him as his mom and as a proud American. And one of the things I think about when I raise this wonderful little boy that I'm blessed to raise is the ideals that I think I would like him to have as he grows into a man. Much of today's national discussion is focused on what divides us and too little of the conversation is about what we have as a shared identity as Americans. It doesn't escape me that the tactics used to vilify gun owners are marginalizing us around age, race, and class. And I completely reject all of these tactics. Gun owners are your neighbors, your friends. You see them in the grocery store, they work alongside you. And I know that all of you feel the same way. But my message to those that will continue to create these divisions is there is not an old or a young America or a black or a white America. There's just one united America. And we have certain inalienable rights. And of those are the life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And the framers of our Constitution realized that we needed in these pursuits to retain the liberty of self-preservation. And that's why they embedded the Second Amendment in our Constitution. And among these lessons I hope that I instill in my son is that I can raise him from a boy to a man and understand this right. And I'll think I've done okay as a mom if I can do that. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Clayton Waits. I'm from Canal Winchester. It's easy to remember, CW from CW. And we look to our elected leaders and appointed officials and we realize that they don't do our bidding. They don't follow their oath. They don't defend our Constitution. They don't stand for what is right. And it comes down to the bottom line that no one is going to fight for your rights and no one is going to speak out for your rights except for yourself. That's why we need to put petty differences aside and come to a greater goal of what it means to be for the common good and ultimately to support our Constitution. Thank you. Thank all of you. Thank you so much. And I'll give one closing thought for all of you to think about. Maybe some of you can come up here and share your ideas as well, because this truly is a great country because we have the opportunities like this today. We express our First Amendment right. We express our Second Amendment right. Our Second Amendment right gives us the expression of everything. When you look in the mirror and you ask yourselves, why is this world the way it is? You have to look within and realize that within each and every one of us there is greatness. And this greatness is only stifled by the petty differences that are stoked by the media and other forces that wish to draw us apart instead of bringing us together. You've just got to stay calm and breathe and think about your values and then breathe again and then take every day one step at a time and truly understand that all of us do have the ultimate goal of making society better for all. It just needs to be done the right way. Thank you guys so much.
Good morning, fellow Patriots. My name's Jim Dowdell. Anybody ever been to the Medina Gun Show? That's put on by Conrad and Dowdell Productions. I was part of the founding of that, and I was there from 1978 until 1997. And then my wife convinced me I had other priorities. I'm still a gun owner, a firearms instructor. I hit the road yesterday morning at about 10:30 from Parris Island, South Carolina. I had the privilege, the proud privilege, of attending my grandson's graduation from Marine Corps boot camp. But the main message I want to share with you today is I look around this crowd, I don't see enough young people. Was anybody here for the rally in 1989, the March on Columbus, and we had over 10,000 people at that rally? I was part of that, and we had a lot of young people there. I believe one of the problems that we have today when it comes to Second Amendment, as we all know, our educational system has failed to educate our children, grandchildren, even our peers on the Second Amendment. We have a responsibility, we have a need, we have an obligation to fill that void. So I would challenge each and every parent and grandparent here today to make sure during the coming months, certainly within the next year, that you've invested time with your children and grandchildren to ensure that they understand why the Second Amendment appears in our Constitution. The Bill of Rights is essentially the guard dog of our freedoms and liberties. The First Amendment is the bark. The Second Amendment is the bite. We need to ensure that future generations understand that, and it's our job to ensure that happens. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Ryan Sawyer. I am you. I'm a person that wants to stand up for our rights, not a politician. I am running for the State Senate District 13 seat in Huron and Lorain County. Once again, I am you. I'm not a politician. You've got to support your grassroots efforts. We don't get the big dollars. We are a self-funding campaign. All the money comes out of my pocket. If I want to buy something new, I sell something else. Look into your grassroots groups. Look at the candidates that are running. If we don't vote, we don't have a voice. God bless you, and let's keep up the good fight, and let's keep America great.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ian. He's from Vietnam, and he's blind.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank God for this beautiful day, and I would like to thank of our first responder for being out here with us. I was born and raised in Vietnam, and I came to the United States in 1992, and I am now a proud citizen of the United States of America. I think part of the reason that I am into firearms because when I was young, my grandfather told me a lot about firearms. He was a translator for the United States Army during the Vietnam War. When I came to the United States and when I turned 18, I got my first AR-15 rifle. And when I got my concealed carry permit when I was 23. Taking away the rights of American citizens to defend themselves, their family, and loved ones are not the answers to mass shootings. The government, for any nations on earth, the first thing they do before they take away any of your other freedom is to disarm you. Always remember that. A lot of people trying to come to me and said, you know, we are not trying to take away your rights. We are just trying to have common sense. I don't see why a normal civilian would need an AR-15 with a 30-round magazine. Well, I am not willing to live a life that let the government decide what I need and what I don't need. We have to put away our differences to stand together as one nation under God. And thank you, all of you guys, and let's continue to make America great again. Thank you.
If they take my guns away, I hope they don't expect me to run. So as I said, my name is Zachary Kelly. I've been a gun owner since the minute I turned 18. When I turned 18, I went down to a gun store that I won't endorse or not because I don't want to mention anything on Cleveland Avenue. But the very first thing that I got was an AK-47, all right? The minute I turned 18, this is one of the funnest things I ever did. And the minute I bought it, I went out to my friend's house who had a great big farm out in the middle of nowhere, and we just shot that like crazy. It was great. But I didn't really truly appreciate the Second Amendment freedom until after I became handicapped about 6 years ago now. It's the Second Amendment freedom that makes me equal now. It's that Second Amendment freedom that gives me a chance in a fight and protects my life. One of the speakers mentioned that she was asked, aren't guns dangerous? They can take a life. Of course they're dangerous. Freedom is dangerous. It's dangerous for a criminal who we know is guilty as sin to have a right to an attorney that can put him free to walk the streets. It's freedom that allows, if Hitler himself were to rise from the grave to spew hatred from his cursed mouth, that he would be allowed to do so. That's dangerous. That's freedom. But the question we have to ask ourselves, is freedom worth it? Look around you. Freedom built everything around you. It's freedom that made this the greatest nation to exist in the history of this earth. It's freedom that's worth it. That must be our message. Every time someone asks us about the Second Amendment, that should be our message. Freedom is worth it, no matter how dangerous it is. Because freedom gives us opportunity. That must be our message, consistently. And let that be the message that sparks the fire, that lights the flame of freedom that can be seen in this house behind me and in the houses in Washington when they say it's dangerous for freedom. Our message must be, it's worth it. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's hope I don't mess this up. This is Tom Pham. He's from Vietnam also.
Good morning. So I came here 6 years ago from Vietnam, a communist country, because I would live in a communist country that people are not allowed to speak for their ideas freely. What kind of country is that? A country that people don't have the freedom to live, people don't have the freedom to express themselves. They have ideas but never come to fruition. And look at the United States. We have all those freedom. If you have the ideas, try it. Take the risk to try it. If you love the United States, run for office. Represent our country. And we have those freedom here. We have the freedom to carry weapons, to protect ourselves, to protect our family. People say the Second Amendment gives you the right to carry a weapon. No, you were born with it. You were born with that freedom to carry a weapon. You were born with freedom to practice your own religion. You were born with freedom to speak for yourselves. And God bless you. God bless the United States of America. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. I'm Carol. I'm from Athens, Ohio, and it's an honor to be with you here today. I understand I'm the rapper-upper. Let me just share a couple words with you from the great GW, the original GW. I'm talking George Washington, who said, "A free people should not only be armed and disciplined, they should have sufficient arms and ammunition to maintain a status of independence from any who might attempt to abuse them, which would include their own government." And we here today, we know that full well. To echo everything everybody else has said here today, let's remember to be sure that our elected representatives never, ever forget that. Thanks, people. Thanks very much.